Beloved, money is a mirror of your inner order. It is not just paper, metal, or numbers in an account. It is a living servant of divine law. When discipline departs, money becomes like sand slipping through open fingers. It does not leave because it is evil, but because it cannot stay where confusion reigns. Every dollar carries with it a vibration of purpose, and when purpose is ignored, prosperity begins to fade like a dream upon waking. You see, the universe does not bless the careless. It rewards the obedient, the focused, the one who treats even a single coin as sacred. When you give in to wastefulness, procrastination, or impulsive desire, you break the rhythm of abundance. The law is exact. It requires you to be a faithful steward before it multiplies your supply. Many cry that money is hard to keep, yet they have not learned to govern what they already possess. Discipline is the key that locks wealth into your life. When you respect your finances, you respect the divine energy that flows through them. You create boundaries, not out of fear, but from wisdom. Every purchase becomes a statement of belief. I trust in divine order. Every budget, every saving plan, every act of giving. These are spiritual rituals of alignment. Without them, the mind becomes scattered, and scattered thoughts lead to scattered wealth. What the undisciplined soul calls bad luck is often simply the result of disorder within. The universe is orderly, structured, and governed by perfect balance. If you would have your money remain, you must mirror that same harmony. Wealth loves calmness, clarity, and intention. It cannot dwell in the house of chaos. It seeks the heart that knows when to act and when to refrain. The wise soul understands that self-control is not restriction. It is power. It is the invisible wall that guards your garden of prosperity from the winds of impulse. When you set your house in order, your finances begin to obey you. They respond to your discipline like loyal soldiers to their commander. You begin to spend with purpose, give with joy, and save with confidence. The law of increase recognizes such stewardship and expands your territory. But when money is handled with recklessness, without record, without plan, without respect, it grows restless and departs. The divine cannot pour more into a vessel full of holes. The disciplined person does not chase money, they prepare for it. They make room for its arrival by creating structure. They understand that every blessing demands management. Even the smallest stream of income, when honored and directed wisely, can become a river. The foolish may laugh at order, but the wise know it is the foundation of freedom. Discipline does not limit wealth, it multiplies it. To hold money without discipline is to hold water in a sieve. But when you build the walls of wisdom, self-control, and gratitude, your supply becomes secure. You no longer worry about losing, for you are aligned with the principle that sustains gain. Money begins to recognize you. It knows your vibration and seeks your dwelling. You become a magnet for abundance because you have learned to master yourself. The undisciplined mind lives in reaction. The disciplined mind lives in creation. One spends to escape, the other spends to expand. One fears running out, the other trusts divine replenishment. When you act in order, the law moves in your favor. The smallest act of discipline, recording your spending, delaying an unnecessary purchase, investing with wisdom, sends out a signal that you are ready for more. Money is not your master, it is your servant. But servants respond only to command, and command comes from order. If you do not rule your money, it will rule you. If you do not give it direction, it will wander away. The disciplined soul does not hoard, they circulate wisely. They know that every dollar used with purpose multiplies in unseen ways. But when money is abused or ignored, it finds another keeper. So set your intention, beloved. Guard your finances with love, not fear. Write your vision, plan your giving, and track your blessings. Be faithful in the small, for the law will make you ruler over much. Remember always, money without discipline will disappear, but money guided by divine order will forever increase. Discipline is the spiritual structure that anchors money and prevents it from slipping away. It is not merely a habit or a rigid schedule, it is a sacred agreement between you and the invisible law of prosperity. Money, being energy, responds to vibration, and the vibration of discipline is one of stability, reliability, and wisdom. When you cultivate discipline, you are not controlling money. You are aligning with the rhythm that governs its flow. The universe is perfectly balanced, and every form of abundance follows order. Without discipline, even great wealth becomes fleeting. But when you build your foundation upon self, control and intention, money recognizes you as a faithful steward and remains in your care. Discipline begins in the unseen realm of thought. A person who lacks mental order cannot maintain material order. Every decision you make with money springs from your inner state. If your mind is scattered, your finances will mirror that confusion. Thoughts of carelessness, indulgence, or impatience create financial chaos, while thoughts of clarity and direction establish prosperity. The disciplined mind does not act from impulse, it acts from insight. It knows that every expenditure carries spiritual weight. It understands that money spent without awareness leaks energy. The disciplined person pauses before every financial decision and asks, "Does this align with my higher purpose?" In that pause lies the power to attract lasting abundance. When you approach money with discipline, you are showing reverence for the divine law of order. The law never multiplies confusion, it multiplies structure. It rewards those who can handle with grace what they already possess. Many cry for more income, more opportunity, more wealth. Yet they have not mastered what they currently hold. The universe withholds greater blessings not as punishment but as protection. It cannot pour abundance into an undisciplined vessel, for it would only bring loss and disorder. But when you organize your finances, when you know where every dollar goes and give it direction, you signal readiness for expansion. You are saying to the universe, "I am prepared to receive and manage more." This declaration opens doors unseen and channels unexpected increase. The energy of money is sensitive. It moves toward order and flees from chaos. Just as a clean, well-tended home attracts peace, a disciplined financial life attracts prosperity. Keeping records, planning expenditures, saving with intention, and giving with joy are not mundane tasks. They are acts of spiritual alignment. They declare that you honor the law that governs supply. Even small acts of discipline carry great spiritual significance. Paying bills on time, saving a portion of your income, refraining from unnecessary purchases. These are vibrations of respect. The universe notes such obedience and multiplies the substance of the obedient heart. It is not the amount of money that matters, but the consciousness with which it is handled. Discipline also requires emotional mastery. Many people lose money not through lack of opportunity, but through lack of control over their emotions. Fear makes them hoard, greed makes them gamble, impatience makes them spend, and pride makes them pretend. Each of these emotions disrupts divine order. The disciplined person is calm, measured, and intentional. They do not chase the illusion of quick gain or yield to the pressure of appearance. They understand that stability attracts stability. Their calmness communicates to the universe, "I am grounded in truth." And truth always brings provision. Emotional discipline transforms money from a fleeting visitor into a faithful companion. It turns uncertainty into security. Because the one who governs self can govern all things under heaven, spiritual discipline extends beyond numbers and budgets. It is an attitude of stewardship. It is knowing that everything you possess is part of a larger current of supply flowing through you. You are not the owner of money. You are the channel through which it moves. If you misuse it, the flow slows. If you handle it with integrity, the flow strengthens. This is the reason tithing, giving, and generosity carry power. They demonstrate mastery, not dependency. When you can release money with faith, knowing it will return multiplied, you are no longer a slave to it. But that freedom is only achieved through discipline, because undisciplined giving leads to depletion, while disciplined giving leads to increase. The wise soul gives under divine direction, not under emotion or pressure. Discipline also sanctifies desire. Many confuse discipline with denial, but discipline is divine permission. Permission to enjoy wealth without losing it. It allows you to partake of the good things of life without being consumed by them. The person of discipline knows that luxury is not evil, but attachment is. They understand that true abundance comes from balance. They can enjoy a feast without forgetting to store for the future, invest without fear, and spend without regret. This balance anchors money, ensuring that what comes in does not rush out. Discipline transforms spending into a sacred act of gratitude, rather than a reflex of lack. Every transaction becomes a prayer of intention, a statement that says, I am in harmony with the law of prosperity. Such harmony attracts more of its kind. The spiritual structure of discipline creates a boundary that protects abundance. Without boundaries, blessings become burdens. Discipline ensures that energy is properly contained, directed, and multiplied. Just as a river needs banks to flow with strength, money needs boundaries to serve its purpose. A river without banks floods and destroys, but a river with structure nourishes everything it touches. Your discipline is the banks of your prosperity. It guides your wealth toward growth, investment, and blessing. It ensures that your money nourishes your life and the lives of others, rather than being wasted in meaningless motion. This divine structure turns ordinary income into generational wealth, because it builds upon the principles that never fail. To practice discipline with money is to live in divine partnership. It is saying to the universe, I am trustworthy with what I have been given. Every act of order strengthens that trust. Every act of carelessness weakens it. The universe is exact. It mirrors your vibration perfectly. When you live in disorder, you attract losses and delays. When you live in order, you attract ease and expansion. There is no mystery in this, it is law. The disciplined person does not fear lack, for they know their order creates supply. Their every decision, every plan, every moment of mindfulness becomes a silent command to the universe. Continue the flow. When you understand that discipline is spiritual structure, you no longer view it as restriction but as liberation. It frees you from the tyranny of waste and the anxiety of uncertainty. It makes you the master of money instead of its servant. The energy of wealth recognizes the vibration of mastery and stays where it is respected. It stays where it feels secure. It stays where divine order reigns. For where discipline abides, money finds a home. Wealth flows to those who manage it with purpose, order, and self-control. Prosperity does not come by chance, it comes by design. Every dollar that enters your life carries a purpose, and when you align that purpose with divine intention, your wealth begins to grow in quiet strength. The universe rewards clarity. When you are deliberate in the way you handle money, the law of increase recognizes your alignment and moves in your favor. Purpose gives direction to wealth. Without it, money wanders. When you manage your resources consciously, you invite more of them. The energy of abundance is intelligent, it goes where it is respected, where it is handled with wisdom, and where it serves a higher order. Purpose transforms money from a mere instrument of exchange into a tool of creation. Many people work for money, yet few make money work for them, because they lack purpose. The one who knows why they desire wealth will always handle it differently from the one who seeks it for vanity or fear. Purpose draws divine guidance. When you know that your financial blessings are meant to build, serve, and uplift, you unlock channels of opportunity that others cannot see. You are no longer in pursuit of wealth. Wealth begins to pursue you, because your energy has become a vessel of order and usefulness. Every action you take with money, how you earn it, spend it, save it, and give it, becomes a reflection of your purpose. When purpose is clear, waste disappears. You begin to use money as a builder uses bricks, each one carefully placed, each one strengthening the foundation of your vision. Order is the next pillar that sustains wealth. The universe itself is a masterpiece of order. Planets move in harmony, seasons unfold with precision, and every natural system functions under divine law. If you wish to be wealthy, you must mirror this order in your affairs. Disorder repels abundance because it signals unreadiness. A disorganized life is like a cluttered garden. Even when seeds are sown, they cannot thrive. Financial order begins with awareness, knowing exactly where your money comes from and where it goes. It means keeping records, setting boundaries, creating structure. It is not a tedious chore, it is an act of faith in divine law. The person who organizes their finances aligns themselves with the rhythm of the universe. They show that they are ready to receive, ready to multiply, ready to manage increase. Order is not about control, it is about harmony. When your finances are in order, your mind becomes peaceful, your decisions become sharper, and your vibration rises. The higher your vibration, the more effortlessly wealth flows to you. Self-control is the guardian of prosperity. Without it, purpose fades and order crumbles. Self-control is not repression, it is mastery. It is the ability to choose what serves your highest good over what satisfies the fleeting desire of the moment. Many lose money not because they lack income, but because they lack restraint. Impulse spending, emotional decisions, and short-term thinking drain the reservoir of abundance. Self-control is the invisible force that preserves wealth. It whispers to you when temptation calls. It reminds you that patience multiplies what haste destroys. It teaches you that saying no today can open the door to greater blessings tomorrow. The disciplined soul does not chase pleasure, they create peace. They understand that every choice carries a consequence, and they choose from wisdom rather than emotion. Wealth flows where there is trust, and trust is built upon consistency. The universe cannot entrust great riches to the inconsistent heart. When you are faithful over small things, greater things naturally gravitate to you. This is not a moral principle but a spiritual law. Every time you prove your reliability, by saving instead of squandering, by investing instead of indulging, by planning instead of reacting, you send a signal to the universe. I am ready for more. This signal rearranges circumstances, draws opportunities, and opens doors that once seemed closed. Wealth is not an accident, it is a reflection of the inner order you carry. The one who cannot manage the little will never sustain the great, for the same habits that scatter coins will scatter fortunes. Purpose, order, and self-control work together like threads in a divine fabric. Purpose gives meaning to wealth, order gives it direction, and self-control protects it from loss. When these three are united, money becomes an ally rather than a master. It flows steadily, calmly, and purposefully, bringing not only material comfort but also spiritual satisfaction. Wealth managed in this way becomes sacred energy, energy that heals, uplifts, and multiplies. You no longer feel anxiety about money, because you know it is governed by divine principles, not human luck. You have stepped into alignment with the eternal rhythm of supply and demand that governs the universe. In this state, your wealth is no longer a source of fear or stress. It becomes a source of freedom. When you live with purpose, you are not swayed by trends or comparison. You spend with awareness, save with joy, and give with gratitude. Your money becomes a reflection of your character. You learn that true prosperity is not measured by accumulation but by alignment. You begin to attract opportunities that match your integrity and your vision. Even challenges become lessons in mastery. When unexpected expenses arise, you do not react in panic, for you know that divine order will provide. Your calmness keeps the flow alive. The one who manages wealth with grace and patience cannot fall into poverty, for their consciousness is rooted in abundance, not scarcity. The law of prosperity sustains them, because they have proven themselves aligned with it. Order in finances also creates clarity in thought. When you know exactly what you have and where it is going, your decisions carry power. Confusion breeds fear, and fear repels supply. Clarity breeds confidence, and confidence attracts it. This is why financial order is a spiritual practice. It transforms fear into faith. It allows you to see money as a tool for creation, rather than a source of anxiety. Every balanced account, every deliberate plan, every clear boundary is a silent prayer of gratitude. It declares, I honor the flow of life through me, and life responds in kind. Sending more of what is honored and respected. Self-control deepens this process. It strengthens your relationship with time and trust. The undisciplined mind seeks instant gratification. The wise mind seeks lasting fulfillment. The one who practices self-control does not need to chase riches, because they know riches are inevitable when one is in harmony with divine order. They understand that timing is sacred. They plant seeds and trust the process, knowing that harvests arrive in their due season. This patience turns potential into manifestation. It builds unshakable confidence, the kind that radiates assurance even in uncertain times. This vibration of trust and calm draws abundance effortlessly. Money feels safe where patience resides. As you manage wealth with purpose, order, and self-control, you begin to live in a state of quiet sufficiency. You no longer grasp for more out of fear, nor do you squander what you have out of carelessness. You find joy in structure, beauty in restraint, and power in mindfulness. Every act of responsible management becomes a form of prayer, a declaration that you are in partnership with the divine law of increase. The flow of wealth becomes consistent, reliable, and graceful because it mirrors the consistency within you. Money follows mastery. When you master yourself, you master your finances. When you manage your wealth with wisdom, the universe entrusts you with more to manage. Wealth flows naturally to those who live in purpose, walk in order, and stand in self-control. Money obeys divine law. When you align your habits with discipline, prosperity becomes permanent. There is a rhythm to abundance, a sacred frequency that governs the flow of all things. Money, like every other expression of energy, responds to the vibration of order, faith, and right action. It is not controlled by luck, nor does it answer to fear. It answers to law, and the law is exact, unbending, and always fair. When your thoughts, actions, and habits align with that divine law, money must obey. It must circulate toward you, remain with you, and multiply through you. The universe cannot deny harmony. And discipline is the form harmony takes in human behavior. Discipline is divine obedience expressed through consistent action. It proves to the unseen forces that you are trustworthy with material expression. And once that proof is given, prosperity has no choice but to abide. The law of supply and demand is not a man-made principle. It is spiritual. It declares that everything in creation seeks balance, that what is given returns, and that what is respected increases. When you align yourself with these truths, money becomes your ally. It is no longer something to chase or fear losing. It becomes a loyal servant of purpose. The undisciplined mind treats money as an end in itself, and thus breaks the flow. The disciplined soul understands that money is merely the means through which divine abundance expresses itself. When your habits reflect that understanding, the flow stabilizes. You no longer experience feast and famine cycles, because you are no longer living by chance. You are living by law. Discipline creates structure for the law to operate. Just as electricity requires wiring to travel safely, money requires order to circulate without loss. The person who lives without discipline is like a house with broken circuits. Energy enters but cannot stay. They may earn much, but because they lack the spiritual wiring of consistency, gratitude, and awareness, their wealth leaks away. When you live in discipline, you repair those circuits. Every budget, every act of saving, every deliberate decision becomes divine wiring that allows the energy of wealth to move through you efficiently. You stop blocking the flow with fear or waste, and instead, you channel it with purpose. The law recognizes that channel and increases its current. This is why disciplined people seem to attract consistent abundance. They are conductors of divine order. To align your habits with divine law is to understand that every small act carries weight in the unseen. The way you handle a single coin mirrors the way you would handle millions. The universe makes no distinction between little and much. It only measures consciousness. If you are careless with the small, you are unready for the large. When you pay attention to details, when you live with integrity in every financial matter, you magnetize increase. Discipline in small habits, keeping your promises, finishing your work, recording your expenses, saving a little, giving faithfully, creates invisible power. That power becomes momentum, and momentum builds manifestation. Divine law operates through patterns, and your habits are those patterns. If your habits are random, your results will be random. But when your habits are ordered and purposeful, the law has something steady to build upon. It multiplies according to your rhythm. Prosperity becomes permanent only when it rests on principle. Temporary gain can be achieved through luck, manipulation, or chance, but it cannot last without alignment. Many people rise quickly but fall even faster because they violate the law of stewardship. They take what was given for circulation and try to hold it in fear. They mistake accumulation for abundance. But divine law does not bless stagnation. It blesses flow. Discipline allows you to remain in that flow. It teaches you to balance giving and receiving, to spend with intention and save with faith. You become neither miserly nor wasteful. You become a channel through which wealth flows freely yet securely. In this way, prosperity becomes continuous, because it is rooted in understanding rather than emotion. Discipline in financial habits is also discipline in thought. Money responds to mental order as much as physical order. If your thoughts are filled with worry, resentment, or scarcity. You repel abundance no matter how hard you work. But when your mind is clear, confident, and thankful, you attract increase without strain. The law operates through vibration, and your habitual state of mind determines your vibration. A disciplined thinker does not allow doubt to rule them. They choose thoughts of faith even when appearances suggest lack. They speak words of sufficiency, they act from abundance, and they expect increase. This mental discipline creates a field of attraction around them that pulls in resources, opportunities, and ideas. It is not superstition. It is science of spirit. Like attracts like, and order attracts order. You cannot trick the law. You can only align with it. Many attempt shortcuts, schemes, impatience, gambling with destiny. But divine law responds not to desire but to discipline. The disciplined person earns their wealth in alignment with purpose. Their efforts are guided by inspiration, not desperation. They plant in faith, water with persistence, and harvest in gratitude. Their prosperity endures because it was grown by law, not stolen from it. The universe protects such wealth. It does not vanish in crisis or dissolve under pressure, because it was built upon principle. The one who aligns with divine law becomes unshakable in both feast and famine, for their security does not depend on outer circumstances but on inner order. To live under divine law is to recognize cause and effect in every detail of life. Nothing happens by accident. Every act of discipline sets a cause in motion, and every cause returns its effect multiplied. When you choose to save instead of squander, you plant a seed. When you give generously, you set a circle of return in motion. When you refuse to act in haste, you open space for divine timing to work in your favor. The law of prosperity has no favorites. It rewards whoever aligns with it. This is why discipline is so powerful. It is the constant alignment of will, thought, and action with the higher order that governs creation. Once your life moves to that rhythm, wealth cannot help but appear. For you are acting as a co-creator with divine intelligence. Permanent prosperity does not mean that you will never face financial shifts. It means that your consciousness will remain anchored through them. The disciplined soul does not crumble in the face of temporary lack, because they know that law cannot fail. Just as day follows night, supply follows need when the law is honored. They hold their peace, maintain their faith, and continue their good habits. Soon, conditions change. Opportunities appear and abundance flows again. This consistency of mind and practice is what transforms temporary prosperity into permanent wealth. The undisciplined swing between extremes of gain and loss, hope and despair. The disciplined move steadily, building layer upon layer, until their prosperity becomes self-sustaining. The divine law of wealth is the same for all. Order begets increase, confusion begets loss. When your habits reflect that order, the law must fulfill its promise. It is impartial, exact, and eternal. Every time you act in discipline, you align yourself with this eternal current. You stop fighting against the tide of life and begin to move with it. Money begins to obey you because you are now speaking the same language as the universe. The language consistency, purpose, and control. Your actions match your faith. Your faith matches your thoughts, and your thoughts match divine order. This alignment creates a vibration too strong to be broken by circumstance. Prosperity becomes not an event but a condition of being. Not a fleeting experience but a steady expression of spiritual law. When your habits and discipline are one with divine order, money recognizes you. It finds its way back to you from every direction. It stays longer, multiplies faster, and serves a higher purpose. It becomes an expression of harmony, not struggle. The moment you begin to live by this law, the unseen forces that govern abundance begin to cooperate with you. Ideas, opportunities, and resources gather around you like iron to a magnet. You no longer need to chase wealth, for the law itself moves to bring it forth. Prosperity, once fleeting, becomes a permanent companion, because it has found its rightful home in the life of one who lives by discipline and divine order.